Chris Hogan here. I've spent so much time on the road and talked with a lot of people. And the millionaire success stories that I run into might surprise you. You're gonna get a glimpse into the life of a self-made millionaire. These folks are hard at work. You don't wanna miss it, people. This is Everyday Millionaires.
We're here sitting at hopefully our forever home, enjoying the lake behind us. When we got married a little over 6.5 years ago, we had close to $800,000 in debt, and it's been quite the story, quite the ride to get here, quite the ride. I'm John. This is Cricket. We're the Allens.
I actually was the reason why we had so much debt. I got into no money down real estate and had mortgaged my former house with my husband that I was married to then, and we bought 15 rentals. So I ended up $850,000 in debt, and I did not know how I was possibly going to end up paying it off. And I had a life insurance policy, and there was a brief thought of committing suicide because at least some of the debt would be paid off, because I just didn't see how it could be possible that we could get out of the hole that I had created. I was at work one day and just had very little hope. I was very hopeless. I was at my bottom financially. One of my friends heard me, and he pulled me aside and he said, I'm teaching this thing at church. Actually, I don't even think he would have said church, because it would have made me run, because I was not going to church at that point. He said, it's Financial Peace University, and you might want to check it out. And I was desperate, and so I listened, because he had some hope. I grabbed hold of it like a life preserver, but part of grabbing hold of it was having to accept the fact that he was talking pretty frankly about Jesus and about Christianity. And I met God when I was probably 12 years old, and I turned my life over to Jesus, but I definitely wasn't walking a Christian lifestyle at all. If I hadn't been so desperate for help with the financial part, I probably would have walked away and would have been an unbeliever the rest of my life. God uses things for our good. And I honestly think he allowed me to fall on my face financially, because it caused me to come back to him. I got an extra job. I was working, I took one day off a month, and I just worked like a banshee. And John and I started dating, and by the time we got married, I had paid off everything except for the rentals.
Then here comes John, and we get married, and I bring another $250,000 into the marriage. So we jump back up to almost $800,000 again in debt.
Yeah.
Every penny that was left over went to debt. It would be $425.32 would go to debt.
And we lived very frugally. We didn't have cable for 5 years.
Yeah.
And we have cars that are both 10 years old. And went on camping trips. We tried to figure out ways that we could enjoy ourselves frugally. So we worked really hard, and it was so refreshing to have someone who was on the same page, because we paid $1,014,000 in debt in exactly 7 years. It's just like a marathon. We just kept on going and going. And one day we looked up and we were there. He had talked about wanting to live on the lake the whole time we've known each other.
Missions is a big part of my family history. Having a place that we could give them a place to come and take a week, 2 weeks, and be able just to have a place that they could come back and really enjoy like that. So it's a pretty big deal to be able to do that.
So here I hear this dream, and I'm like, there is no way that we're going to be able to afford a house that would accommodate basically two families. But we did it. We got out of debt, and
here we are.
And here we are.
She started out with basically a financial journal.
This is the second book
book 2.
I filled, and
Book 2.
and I got a pretty one because I knew that I was going to be doing it every month for a long time, and I would write down what we owed, each one of them line item, what we owed, and here's what the balances of our checking account, the balances of our savings account, our emergency fund.
It was like a celebration every single month. And you're seeing this debt slowly going down, and then you could see the net worth slowly going up.
I keep on going back to the word hope. It just re-energized me every month to be able to see, okay, we're doing it. It's happening. It's that baby steps, plodding up a mountain that we're getting to see that we're getting somewhere, that we can look back and we can see that we actually are getting somewhere.
We got down to that last final month, and we had one check to write. This was to pay off our personal residence. So it was to be debt-free, including our house. And we wrote that last check, and we had the Christmas tree up in the background. We did a little video, and we took a big old chain I had, and we put it around us. We did a personal debt-free scream. The chains are gone. And that was a pretty thrilling moment to be able to do that. We were investing in our 401ks, having a little bit of money going in there just over time, constantly over time, and allowing that money to work. And we didn't have to work to make that money work. We worked terribly hard. When there was renovations to be done on a house, we got in there. We'd work 9 to 5 and 5 to 9. So it was, we just continued to plow into using our abilities and our skills to reduce any kind of expenses, to make those improvements. We sold some of the rental properties.
We have 9 rentals. It's not just the stocks that we have in the 401k, and it's not just our income, and it's not just that we work hard, but we also have these paid off houses that somebody else is enjoying living in those houses and giving us, $500 to $800 a month in exchange for us to let them stay there. And it's not just any one thing that really has helped us get here. One of my goals was to be able to meet Dave and to thank him, because we didn't just pay off $1 million. I came back to Christ, and I do have peace, and it's not just the financial peace. So it truly has been life-changing. It's not just financial, it truly is life-changing.
Having this vision of where you want to go, and I would bring up ever since we were together about having this house on a lake, and keeping that in front of me was a big part of why I stayed and was able to stay committed to paying off every month, even down to the penny of what was left over. Here we are sitting on the lake and in a house that we can use to bless others with. We're over $1 million in net worth, and we laugh and talk about the fact that, if it's possible and we want to get there, then let's go for 2.
Our cup truly is running over, and it's allowing us to not only have enough for ourselves, for our family, we can truly bless so many other people because we have enough. And had we not gotten out of debt, then it would have been harder to be able to give. But we truly can give with an open hand now because we know we're going to be okay. 8 years ago, I personally owed almost $750,000 in debt, and I was totally hopeless. And through this program, 8 years later, John and I now have a net worth of $1.7 million. And hope is real. It really is.